what's more terrifying than a crew of pirates? A single monster who doesn't need one. Today we're diving into the most legendary one-man army moments in One Piece, when a single character said, "I got this," and absolutely dominated the battlefield. That's peak. Let's get into it. Let's start with our loving Sabo. Now, he's fighting a bunch of Marines just to show them how out of his league they are. When Bastille himself tells his subordinates not to mess with Sabo, you know things are about to get serious. Those idiots didn't listen to the Vice Admiral and still shot Sabo, hoping that would grill him. Now, that was the biggest mistake of their lives, as Sabo proceeded to burn them and turn their guns into nothing but rubble. The way he handles himself against overwhelming numbers makes it clear why he's Luffy's chosen big brother. Next on the list we have Magellan, who shows why he's the only person who can run Impel down. You see, Blackbeard's first mistake is his overconfidence. His second mistake is trying to waltz out of the world's most secure prison without a worry. Everything was going great until Magellan showed up. Dude ended Blackbeard and his crew's dreams right there and then in just one Hydra attack. In less than a minute, Magellan left the crew in severe pain, paralyzed, and on the ground. This doesn't even feel like a proper fight, and Blackbeard never learns his lesson. Dude never knows when he's about to get attacked. It was so satisfying to hear that authentic cry of pain that Blackbeard let out. I mean, I could listen to that for days. Anyway, Magellan is a mad lad. He didn't even hesitate to attack. He alone is enough for anyone trying to mess with him. Let's go back to the time when Kara got her glorious Sulong form and soloed the Big Mom pirates. During that scene, Kara absolutely stole the spotlight. She looked so calm, yet so terrifying in that form. When she transformed and that eerie music hit, it gave me pure chills. The way she destroyed a bunch of grown-ass men without even touching them just leaves me gagged. For a girl who looks more playful than deadly, this was her badass moment. It was absolutely stunning when she flawlessly dodged those deadly bullets and left a shocking bite on that man's neck. I love how Oda always has a way to let the side characters shine and have their moments too. I'm 100% sure you weren't expecting Kara to be in this one-man army moments list, but here she is, and she absolutely deserves it. Also, this looked more like Oda's tribute to Super Saiyans, and I won't accept any other explanation. So, our Mr. Prince cooks up a plan to save Robin, and it looks like we're watching a spy movie. But when he starts breakdancing and throwing those agents left and right, things get super intense. Even whilst he's fighting a bunch of agents all at once, this man never loses his composure. He was calm and unbothered. To Sanji, those CP9 agents were nothing but tiny bugs ready to be squished by his breakdance. And after beating everyone's asses, this man lit up his cigarette like nothing even happened. I mean, I need that level of chill and confidence in my life. Sanji just gets things done. Next on the list, we have Ace destroying the Billions fleet in a matter of seconds. There just can't be a one-man army better than this one. It's a flex that's just on another level. Now, these bounty hunters had no idea what they were dealing with, and Ace probably traumatized those idiots with his fire. It's one of the many moments in the series when we think that Ace should have been the main character, giving off that vibe, to be honest. Like, he doesn't even have to try hard. Dude can probably solo double the amount of ships that he dealt with in this scene. That's Whitebeard's second in command for a reason. Also, it's funny how Ace went the extra mile just to flex in front of his little brother. Such an icon. Now this is the kind of scene that lives rent-free in my head. Like, this man has infinite aura. The way he lands so effortlessly and makes those Marines tremble is so iconic. I mean, just look at the fear in their eyes. These poor men. They instantly recognize how big a threat Doflamingo is, and then he proceeds to wipe them out in the coolest way possible in just one motion. This is the only dude who looks good while being flashy. The man doesn't hesitate to take out a bunch of government dogs in broad daylight. Imagine being so badass that the G5 doesn't even register as a threat to you. Doflamingo's confidence is just off the charts. I know I'm not the only one who tried to mimic his walk, am I? This man is dope. Now this has to be one of the most puzzling one-man army moments in One Piece. I mean, it's too good to be true. Mihawk pulls up on Don Krieg's entire pirate armada and slices through their massive galleon like it's made of wet cardboard. The impact of those split-second slashes on the ship is just nuts. You see, Don Krieg's main ship is probably one of the biggest ships ever seen in One Piece, leaving out island ships like Thriller Bark or Noah. Mihawk just took 2 slashes to destroy it, so just let that sink in. 2 slashes. That was an unbelievable moment for Don Krieg. For Mihawk, it was just another day. Always remember, this is the man someone like Zoro looks up to and wants to defeat one day. He's an absolute beast and knows his swordsmanship really well. Let's talk about the time when Luffy absolutely flexed on Big Mom's crew. Been a while Luffy showed up, no? This man walked straight into Big Mom's territory, picked a fight with their entire pirate family, and somehow lived to tell the tale. If the term built different were an actual person, Luffy would be the epitome of this term. Like, there are thousands of pirates right in front of Luffy, and he still decides to stay and fight instead of running away. Every time Big Mom's crew tried to corner him, he punched his way out. And just to remind you, he soloed those pirates while he'd been starving. The only thing that was giving him power was his anger and his never-ending will. Luffy made one thing clear to the Big Mom pirates: you never mess with his crew. No matter how exhausted he is, he's still willing to fight for his cause. This moment right here is straight up legendary. Shanks had had enough of the Marines' nonsense. He was so over the edge with them that he didn't care who died while he was trying to protect Uta. The way he put everybody to sleep using his Conqueror's Haki is just insane. Shanks showed us here that when he's serious, even the admirals stand no chance. Kizaru's face and his spirit shaken were one of the most hype moments of the anime. Even Fujitora sheathing his sword and running with an excuse is something rare. This man is so overpowered even without a devil fruit. Imagine if he had the powers. I don't even want to think about it. What about one of the most soul-crushing one-man army flexes in all of One Piece? Bartholomew Kuma versus the Straw Hats. See, Kuma had his reasons to separate the crew, but the way this whole scene played out cemented him as one of the most terrifying characters in the entire series. One by one, this man made the Straw Hats disappear with a literal flick of his paw. It felt less like a fight and more like everything slipping through his fingers. But you'll know Kuma is the real one after learning about the context. Kuma absolutely soloed the entire crew and made them feel helpless for the very first time. Luffy, who's usually chill about everything, cried at the top of his lungs because he just couldn't do anything. Kuma didn't even flinch after doing something so brutal like this. Moving on, we have Zoro versus Wano Samurai. The man had barely been in the country 5 minutes before he got accused of murder, handed a wakizashi, which is used for seppuku, and still turned the whole thing into a flex. Zoro was kicking ass in this scene. He literally wiped out all of the samurai present there with, well, let's just say a butter knife for Zoro. Looking at his skills, Zoro definitely learnt it from Mihawk, the OG. This was peak Zoro. No wasted words, just pure swordsmanship. Let's not forget, he was just getting warmed up. This wasn't even Zoro at full power, just the appetizer before he started cooking in Wano. Feudal swordsmen meet the future king of hell. Also making it to our list is when Kizaru straight up bullies the Supernovas. Bro was a one-man show and the MVP of the Sabaody arc, no cap. I mean, this dude kicks at the speed of light, and I imagine nothing would be left of you after that, you know. One by one, this man overpowered the Supernovas and humiliated them in the worst way possible. The scariest part is that this man never looked like he was trying. He was chilling the entire time. Worst Generation is the fitting title for these guys, considering the way they handled this one guy. I feel like Kizaru was just playing around the entire time. Imagine if he got serious. Man, I don't even want to imagine it, actually. It was the moment we all realized these rookies were strong, but the gap between them and an admiral was absolutely insane. I wonder how someone so unusual like Kizaru became an admiral. Here's one of those goosebumps on your goosebumps moments on our list. It's Kaido versus the 9 Red Scabbards. This clash felt personal because the 9 Red Scabbards were carrying 20 years of pain, revenge, and loyalty on their backs. At first, they had Kaido bleeding, but then Kaido stood up and showed them who the real boss is. He reminded everyone why he's called the strongest creature in the world. Kaido caused absolute destruction. He wiped the floor alone with them. It went from a heroic charge to a slow, heartbreaking wipeout. One by one, the Scabbards got crushed physically and emotionally. When you're a one-man army, you are a battlefield, and you don't need any help. Kaido absolutely shattered their hopes, but if they didn't go down swinging like legends, then no one ever has. So, how are you enjoying this list so far? Pretty good, right? Why don't you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Don't forget to click on the bell icon to be updated every time I upload a new video. Thank you. Luffy downing a bunch of fishman pirates is the main character moment none of us knew that we needed. At that time, Luffy was clearly outnumbered. Those pesky fishmen were ready to pounce on Luffy, but when he used his Conqueror's Haki on them, not even a single one of them could lift a finger. Even Hody trembled at Luffy's Haki and realized how he picked a fight with the wrong guy. Luffy didn't need an army to face the army of fishmen in front of him. At that moment, he was the army. Poor Hody and his crew turned into a training session for Luffy for his 2 years training. And I gotta say, the idea of Conqueror's Haki is so damn interesting. Just your presence can knock people out left and right. Pair it up with Luffy, and it becomes deadly.
ホーディっつったな。お前は俺がぶっ飛ばさなきゃな。お前がどんなとこでどういう王になろうと勝手だけどな。
If there was ever a one move, one kingdom moment in One Piece, it's Emu wiping Lulusia off the map. It was just complete erasure on a single command. The thing that makes this even more terrifying in my eyes is that in One Piece, you don't see many on-screen deaths. This scene is different though. Every character, from old to young, king or civilian, is explicitly shown before the destruction begins. In this instance, it was shown that they were all just dead, no playing around anymore. When that music stopped, my heart stopped too. True silence is more horrifying. You know there's a monster in the woods when everything around you goes silent. The world government calls it a natural disaster. Yeah, right. That was a one-person apocalypse dressed in shadows and secrets. When you can wipe out an entire kingdom solo, you don't need an army. You're the final boss everyone's pretending doesn't exist. Shanks showing up to the Kid Pirates like he's just popping in for a casual chat was absolute flex energy. This is less Kid Pirates versus Shanks and more Kid Pirates briefly inconveniencing Shanks. With just his presence, Shanks immediately puts everyone on edge. I absolutely love how Shanks' crew was just chilling. They weren't given any orders to attack. Shanks, along with his crew, knew very well that only Shanks alone would be enough to wipe the floor with Kid and his crew. Shanks is the definition of calm but deadly. The Kid Pirates learned that sometimes the biggest threat isn't the number of fighters, but the one guy whose power makes every other pirate look like background noise. Also, the added scene of Kid's body falling across the levels of his ship like a sack of birds is something else. Now this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Garp soloing the Blackbeard Pirates is one of the most hype moments of the series. This was the hero of the Marines going full old man rage mode, and the Blackbeard Pirates had no idea what kind of smoke they just invited into their house. He punched an entire building off the map with Galaxy Impact like it was made of styrofoam. That move had no business being that clean or that loud, and mind you, he caused so much destruction after he was injured. One man, one fist, one island of pirates rattled. Zoro taking on 100 bounty hunters in Whiskey Peak is the definition of you messed with the wrong swordsman. Man pulled up, found out that the town was faking being friendly, and then decided to go ham on everyone before breakfast. At one point, he vanished right in front of them and popped up behind their backs like some kind of demon ninja. That was exactly the moment when most of us fell in love with Zoro. Me? I fell in love with Zoro when he ate the rice cakes. I love Zoro. This was the fight when we realized how smart a fighter Zoro is. He was predicting movements, reading traps, and controlling the whole battlefield, taking them out one by one. What's even more shocking is that even though he was outnumbered, he wasn't worried at all. When they thought they had him, bro still soloed the 100 trained hunters. Now that's some next level badassery.
ロビンは
Luffy pulling up to Enies lobby was the Marines' worst day ever. He literally stormed a world government stronghold by himself and managed to fight a bunch of Marines without anyone's help. Literally, a rookie stopped an execution and ravaged a government island. Those Marines must have felt ashamed at the time. Bro was laughing while approaching a literal military base. Luffy wanted to make one thing very clear, that no matter how impossible the odds, he'll break through anything to save his crew. He's a man on a mission against a whole island full of regrets. The guy was proving his main character energy so hard, the world government had to act like Enies lobby never even existed. That was the day when the Straw Hats became a real threat to the Marines and the world government. This list isn't going to miss the moment where NL goes up against the entire Sky Island. That was straight up jaw-dropping in the one-man army department. See, Sky Pier was an arc where everyone got screwed, thanks to NL, but luckily, no one died. What really blew everyone's minds was how effortlessly he took down multiple strong opponents one after another without breaking a sweat. NL was a serious threat, as he had control over lightning, and that was downright terrifying. This guy thought he was Thor or something. No one could even get close, and if they did, NL was lightning fast, and they got blasted into the next dimension. He turned the entire battlefield into his personal lightning playground. Low-key, if Luffy didn't have his natural rubbery resistance, or if NL took him more seriously, One Piece would have ended at Sky Pier. Aokiji showing up to mess with the Straw Hats was pure ice-cold intimidation. When he faced off against Luffy and the crew, it was clear from the jump that this was a next-level threat no one wanted to mess with. He was freezing everything around him with one breath and touch, owning the battleground and making the Straw Hats work for every inch they gained. The crew had to adapt fast or get frozen out completely. Aokiji was a walking blizzard that tested every bit of their strength as a crew. It was a reminder that in the world of One Piece, some enemies don't just fight hard, they freeze you out completely. Against Aokiji, survival was a whole different beast. Nearing the end of our list, we have Crocodile, who looks like the kind of guy nobody should mess with. When some idiots decide to mess with him, they're in for big trouble. When you think of a cooler entrance than just flexing and turning everyone to dust, Crocodile was so calm in this scene that he didn't need a long fight or some flashy technique to show his power. It was the perfect moment to show off his Logia Devil Fruit ability and his lack of patience for weaklings. This was our first glimpse of how dangerous and cold-blooded Crocodile can be. As they say, first impressions stick. Taking the top spot on our list and absolutely deserving of it the moment Whitebeard arrives in Marineford. He stormed the battlefield like a one-man earthquake, and in one big swoop, he turned the fight around instantly and tilted the entirety of Marineford. The dude blew away a bunch of Marines like they were just air. It's incredible how Oda managed to write Whitebeard so well that we only saw him fight basically once, lost that fight, and yet he's still one of the most respected characters in anime to this day. It was crazy seeing a badass old man pulling that move. He was proving exactly why he was feared and called the strongest pirate alive. Walking into a war zone like that, Marineford wasn't ready for this level of destruction. And with that, we're wrapping up our best one-man army moments in one piece. Feel free to drop a comment under the video with your favorite moment from today's list, or let us know if there are any that you think we should add. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up before you go. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon for the latest updates on all of our videos. We love hearing from you. Until next time.